It's now time for the final of the first 4 Robot Masters. This time it's Fireman. In this area of the level, you have some fireballs that are going to be raining down on you. Be careful and slowly make your way across the platform so that you can avoid falling into the fire. Here we have some enemies throwing some arcing fireballs, and they throw them in an arcing pattern, and they throw them closer and closer to themselves depending upon how close you are to them. So it can be a little bit tricky sometimes, and if you stand far enough away, you should be able to avoid all their shots, or try to get in close and take them out before they're able to throw one at you. Here, change to the ice ability, freeze the fire stream, then jump up to the platforms and jump over to grab a large chunk of health. This whole area is rather tricky, and you're probably going to take some damage because there's a lot of enemies, as well as a lot of jumps to make. Down here, we have to try to avoid the fire stream as it comes towards you. If you time your jumps correctly, you can avoid getting hit, but it's a little bit tricky. The second one's a little bit easier because the fire stream is going away from you. Down here, we have a few more of those arcing shot big robots before we end up getting to the boss door. As the battle begins, I switch over to my ice ability to take on Fireman. Fireman gets close and has a large blast that he fires straight at you. He's going to keep firing this blast over and over again, so jump over the blast and deliver a shot with the ice or your Mega Buster in order to take him down. With the Robot Masters taken down, it's time to enter Wily's Skull Castle to take him on. Be very careful with this giant robot, as he can take a lot of hits to kill. Try to either one under him when he's doing a big jump, or if you do end up getting hit by him, just forget about him and go down the hole and continue on the level. Down here we have some drills that are coming out of the ground and the ceiling as you're making your way across. Be very careful and move slowly to avoid ending up getting hit by either ones on the top or ones that are coming up from beneath. Once we fall down here, be very careful and move over to the left side so you can avoid hitting electricity or a spike pit. Down here we have a jumping Sniper Joe. Try to take him out and deliver your shots actually to his feet when he's jumping, because you'll actually be able to hit him there. Down here, if you're careful, between the electrical shocks, you can drop down and grab a large chunk of health, or you can grab a large energy replenishment. Use the new item that we got after completing all the stages in order to use a platform to get up here. Drop down here, and then you can use another one of those to get over the spikes if you want to. Here we have to be careful so that we end up not running into the electricity while we're trying to also push against the fan. Be careful of this bird enemy, because the eggs that he does drop will cause little birds to start scattering across the screen, and they can get quite annoying. While this area is very large with the drills, and they will probably hit you at least once or twice, if you stay and fight a lot of them, they will drop plenty of items, including extra lives, health, and energy. When we get down here, fall between the two sets of spikes, and you're going to end up in a large room with 4 pods. Each of these pods contains another Robot Master fight. This time we have 4 Robot Masters from Mega Man 2, and we're going to start with the upper right one, which is Bubbleman. Bubbleman works very similar to the way he does in Mega Man 2, as he throws little bubbles out at you that bounce around the screen, which are pretty easy to contend with, and anytime he sees you, he starts firing straight shots at you. As long as you're not on the same exact line of him, in the air or on the ground, you should be able to avoid those shots. Keep delivering as many projectile shots as you can with your Mega Buster when you get the opportunity, and keep jumping around. Not having a whole lot of gravity will come in handy so that you can avoid most of his projectiles. Once you finish him off, you can grab a large health item, and then go towards the exit, and it'll tell you you actually now have Bubble Lead. Now we do battle with Heatman, and we're going to equip the Bubble Lead so we have an easier time contending with him. He throws out 3 arcing fireball shots which will stay on the ground for a few seconds before dissipating. Every time you deliver a hit to him, he will get a force field around him and then charge towards you. Jump over this to avoid getting hit by it. It won't take too many bubbles to defeat him, and you can grab another large health replenishment. We now have to do battle with Flashman, and I'm going to equip the cutter in order to do damage to him. When landing this out, you can actually hit him twice for every time you land out a cutter. He bounces around the room, sometimes freezing you in place to deliver some shots with his projectile weapon. You're not going to be able to prevent getting stuck in place, so you're just going to have to take some of these shots. Thankfully though, he doesn't deal too much damage to you. As long as you can avoid running into him, you should be pretty good. It's time now for the last of these 4 Robot Masters as we deal with Quickman. Use Flashman's ability first to drain a decent amount of health away from Quickman. Once that runs out, switch back to your Mega Buster and start firing shots at him. He's going to continue quickly running across the room and jumping, throwing boomerangs when he gets the opportunity. When he's running into the wall, that's your opportunity to get 2, 3, or 4 shots in on him before he runs off of it and throws those boomerangs again. With Quickman defeated, we've defeated the 4 robot masters here, and it's now time for a boss battle against one of the Mega Man killers. After we exit the new pod, we now have to do battle with Anchor. Now Anchor is pretty easy to contend with. When you're launching shots at him, he's going to absorb those shots into his blade, and then fire a wave at you. This wave is relatively easy to dodge, and as long as you're not right next to him, you should be able to avoid it. Once Anchor's been defeated, we grab some extra health before leaving the room getting Anchor's ability.